Shannon Vlogs number 70 with the Journal Showdown. Hey everyone, it is Shannon. I'm doing something a little bit different this time. This has been inspired by a post on Facebook by my friend Akiyo. Hi Akiyo! She posted a picture of her journals that were yet to be used, and also like these shelves of journals, ones that were ready to be used, ones that had been used. And between her and my sister Jamie, we started having this conversation about our journals, how many we have, what we use them for. Wouldn't it be cool if we shared that? Idea. So here we are with the Journal Showdown, and I am going to share some of my journals, and I really didn't think I had so many, but then when I ran around and then pulled them all together, I found this many journals and sketchbooks and notebooks of the things that I use on a regular basis. Regular. Some of them are daily, some of them not so much, but regularly active. These are live journals, as Akiyo described them, and these are mine. So let's start right off the bat. My first one, this is very unglamorous. It's just an exercise book, and I use this for health tracking. And so in the morning, I write down a few health-ish things, and then inside, I have clipped together just blank lined paper, and I use this for my morning pages, and I use it specifically with a pen that's not a great color because the point is just to get the information out of your head and onto the page and release it. There is a practice of going over them and pulling out repeated things and such. I don't usually do that. I just recycle them, mostly because I can't read my own writing for morning pages. I have a hard time reading my writing anyway, which makes this entire thing about journaling and all of these notes and thoughts and records just kind of hilarious. But that's something else. So yeah. But I do know if I do notice something repeated or something that sticks out, I do write it like on the top of the page, and then I pull it and use it later. If you want to know more about morning pages, you can check out information in The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And I have been keeping the practice of morning pages for about 4 years, very religiously, and then on and off for probably closer to 10 to 12 years, so that's a lot. One practice that's a lot newer is this journal. This is just a lined page, very hardcover, pretty hardcover. It's like fake something skin, fake alligator skin or something. And this I call my glue journal, and this is the one that I glue stuff in from that I've collected throughout the day. If I haven't collected that much, I would use, wow, look at that awesome shadow. It's really good. I like that. I want to screenshot. There you go. Anyway, sorry. And so I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so this is a new practice for me. If I haven't collected stuff throughout the day, then I just I take some magazine pictures, or maybe it's a combination of magazine pictures and stuff like that. Like, for example, this page is just, I joined Harlequin, they sent me some free books, this came with it, they sent me some bookmarks, they were inside here. You know, I use the subway, so I have transfers, I list, and then this is one that's sort of more representative of the day. This would be an awesome representation of the day, but I was actually just listening to the Vaginal Fantasy live hangout for one of their romance novels that they were discussing, Rosemary and Rue. So sometimes it's more like that, or sometimes it's just my to-do lists and, you know, stuff like that. So this is a new practice for me. I'm not totally sure how I feel about it. Sometimes it feels like I'm just gluing in things I would recycle, you know, but sometimes it holds like a great memory of, like, Chris gave me the soup because I wasn't feeling well, and that was really sweet. So I do want to keep it. So I'm still working on how I feel about that as a practice, and I don't know how long I'm going to be keeping it. And then we have this one. This is actually, oh no, this is, I'm sticking with daily. These are the ones I so far use daily. This is also a new one for me to be using. I am doing a course called Art as a Creative Practice. I hope that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Art as a Practice? And Carl Sondheim is hosting it, and the instructor is Kat, and it's daily, making marks and doing art. And so this is my journal for that. And every day there are more prompts or there's a week's worth of homework sort of, and so I've been using that. So I've only been using this one for 3 days, but I've really been liking it. It is mixed media, so you can use heavier stuff with it. I did use watercolors and then also crayons. So yeah, new practice. I don't know how long I'll keep it. It's like it's one of those things. It's like it's only 60 pages, and I'm 3 days in. I'm like a third of the way through. So, but when are you finished, eh? Especially with an art one. When are you finished? That's a whole other question. Here's another one. This is actually, when I think in my head, I'm going to write in my journal, it is this. This is the one. This is the current version of it. And I struggle with sort of my actual normal journal a lot, because what I want and what I can use aren't necessarily the same things. For me, I need it to be lined paper. My writing is messy. So not having lined is not an option. And then I get really stumped back and forth on whether it's something I can glue pictures in or not. I didn't, because I like to be able to take my journal with me, and the heavier it gets, the harder it is. But I really like gluing pictures in. So I struggle with this all the time. And I think right now what I finally come to is that I can glue pictures in from magazines, but nothing heavier, nothing like a card or an envelope or a something. That can go in my glue journal, because that's a heavier whatever. If it's just magazine pictures or a note, something that's just paper, that's fine. And also to keep it thinner, because, the more you glue it in, the heavier it is. The harder it is, the harder for me it is to carry it with me. That's a challenge. So I struggle with this one, and I struggle with my actual journal the most, I think. I've switched it up a fair amount. I was using another one that I didn't finish, and I've only been using this one for like 2 weeks, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it. And then I feel weird. I'm like, I like, because I feel like, what should I be putting in this one? That's one of the things I struggle with, because like I do a lot of documentation, and a lot of what I'm thinking about and a lot of what I'm planning, but I feel like your journal should be about what you're feeling. But I'm not always wanting to write about that. So I find that a really big struggle. So I just try and keep trying and just keep working with it, and if that's what I got, that's what I got. One that I actually totally forgot to show that is a daily use one, because I'm actually using it right at this moment, is my composition book. And this is inspired by Linda Berry's book Syllabus, where she talks about class. It's sort of like her syllabus for a class that she uses, and this is my second one that I've used. I do glue some stuff in it, but mostly I write in it, and I do some drawings in it, and like sort of just like a little bit of everything. And I keep this with me at all times. These are clothes that I bought, and I drew little pictures of them. My Super Friends shirt, which is totally brown. That looks gray, but it was brown. Anyway, so I'm trying to find a picture. Cook, serve, delicious, organization. How much does that cost? Come on, where's a picture? Oh, so there's a picture. So I draw sometimes while I'm watching TV or movies and stuff like that, so do drawings. And I really like it. And I pull quotes too. And, I try to pull something that someone said that I heard somewhere and put that in there also. But again, I haven't, there's her practice in Syllabus, what she says to do is to write about 7 things you did, 7 things you saw or heard, a drawing about the day, and then something you overheard. And I started with that, and then it just sort of morphed into other things. But I keep using it. I love using it. It's a really weird combination of organizing things, like putting lists together of how I'm going to vlog and those kind of things, and then also doing drawings and then the quotes and stuff. And I don't know, I just always like having it with me. It feels a little more like a sketchbook in a weird way, or an art journal, but it doesn't feel like that either. And I've thought about doing other things, like getting a sketchbook to draw in instead of doing it in here, but I realize I'm drawing in here, so I'm not going to muck that up. I'm just going to keep the energy there and just keep on with it. So that one's a bit weird, because it's working, but I don't know why, and now am I double tasking with that and some of my other things, and then I'm like, I'm just thinking too much. I'm thinking too much. All right, some more journals here. This one is my dream journal. And not like, you know, I want to have a puppy dream or go to Paris dream, but like last night, you know, I'm like the dreams that I've had recently were pretty disturbing, so maybe I won't say things about that happened in my dream. I can't remember the one before, so I just keep it by my bed with a pen. All of my journals have a pen in it, and yeah, I can't even fell asleep again. It's one of those things that's kind of annoying because it's like I can't read my writing, so it's like I had a dream about something. It's been so long since I've remembered a dream. Yep, sometimes that happens. Comes in fits and spells. Recently, I've been remembering my dreams. So, and I've had this one since April 2014, and I've had a dream journal by my bed for like since I was like in middle school or maybe high school. So it's a consistent. Whether like I may or may not remember my dreams, but it's always there just in case I wake up and I'm like, ooh, I want to. Oh yeah, I did have a dream. I forgot to write it down actually about waiting for the elevator. And it's like the elevator never came. I have a lot of dreams about transportation, like trying to get from one place to another and not being able to. Gee, when you say it out loud, it's really clear what that's about. Anyway, so that's my dream journal. What else do we have here? This is one of the weirder journals that I have, or notebooks. It's more of a notebook. It is for reading. It's for taking notes while reading. I love that it's got an extremely hard cover, so I can lie it on my lap and be able to write on it. It doesn't need support because it has its own. Lined paper, again, as almost all of mine are. And currently I'm reading War and Peace. So it's my War and Peace notes. I've actually broken down how many chapters there are of each of the parts, and my goodness, one day I will probably finish writing in this book way before I finish the actual War and Peace because it is so long. So I have my whole character list going on, you know, and I had to stop because like in the first couple chapters there's more characters than there are planets. Well, most books have more characters than planets. Anyway, you get the picture. So that's my notes. I wrote when I was reading Black Beauty, my notes are here, and Far from the Madding Crowd, they're here, In the Heart of the Sea, they're here. Sometimes I pull words that I want to look up the definition at the top. You know, so this is for more concentrated effort reading, not like my Harlequins, but other books where I'm like, what does this mean? Or I want to keep that thought, or this feels like it's discussing the relevance or the conflict between yada yada. So that is all for that journal, my reading notebook journal. And then I have two more, and these are kind of linked because they're not they're about the same thing. And this is kind of weird. This is where I get like kind of embarrassed, but anyone who's watching 12 minutes long, I think has, you know, enough vested interest not to get too judgmental. And this one is a TV journal. Actually, I usually always have a TV journal, so anyway. But this one's specifically for TV, and I used to use it for watching a show, and I had a very strict format, you know, episode, title, date aired, synopsis, what happened to the characters, the relationships, quotes, general notes, lore, because a lot of the shows I watch are supernatural or science fiction, so it's like, oh, this spell works on this person, or you can't resurrect when this happens, or da da da. Things about the arc, you know, the big bad for this season, I think, is blah blah blah, and then left off at. And I have piles of notebooks that I keep in this manner for when me and Susie had the podcast Hext, Sisterhood of the Supernatural, and I kept them there for that. But then this one, I stopped doing that, and we stopped doing Hex, so I kind of stopped doing that, and then I just sort of have general notes, and then I recently started putting in some articles and stuff from like Entertainment Weekly and some pictures and my reflections on shows after the season finished and stuff. I didn't do the Teen Wolf one, so, but I did have notes on Blind Spot. So that's one that I use sort of occasionally, and I don't know if this is sort of the right format for it anymore, but more so with TV, I actually have this monster binder that I use, and I've used this religiously in this format for a couple years, 2 to 3 years, and I have a list. This is all of the shows that I'm interested in this week. Whoops. When they're on, the title of the show, and then later I have a list per show with the title, and then I write about what happens. So that's the Fear of the Walking Dead one. And then I'm not up to date, so no spoilers, please. And then other shows. And then I have a different format for like The Voice, because I have who the teams are: Blake's team, Pharrell's team, Gwen's team, Adam's team, and then like, you know, who makes the cut, who the switches, who makes it to the next level. So I have a different format for reality shows and then for other shows. And then I actually keep them separately. I keep the pages for somewhere else. So that is, it's weird because that one's not kind of a journal, that's more like documentation, but a lot of the things that I do are documentation. So that is my TV binder that sort of took over a little bit for the TV journal. Though I do still use this on occasion. I'm not certain about that. Anyway, those are my live journals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. Yeah, that's a lot. So that doesn't include my abandoned ones or the ones I haven't used yet. But so far these are working for me. I love having stuff on paper. I love writing things out, and mostly working for me. Some of them are still sort of like, I don't know about this. And this video got really long, so I do apologize for that. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I will leave links below for Jamie's channel and also for Akiyo's website. I don't think Akiyo has a YouTube channel yet, but I really hope she does a video and shares her journals, because I would love to see them. And yeah, and I would love to invite anyone who has watched this and wants to share their journals, what they use them for, why they work for them. For me, a lot of the reasons why these work for me are, it needs to be lined, I need to be able to, it needs to be sit with me comfortably wherever I am when I'm taking the notes, and not too heavy to take away if it's something I'm going to take away. So those are my sort of considerations. And always black pens. Oh, these are my favorite pens, with the exception of morning pages where I use colored pens. There's so many little things, eh? So there you go. Those are my journals. I would love to see yours. And check out Jamie's and Akiyo's sites and Jamie's YouTube channel, because I'm so excited to see what they say as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Bye!